Hello, my name is Heather Mann and I am doing the final video presentation for Healthcare Management Capstone. Today we will be discussing leadership and management, specific issue in the organization, leadership model, the strategy when adopting a model, evaluation of that model, as well as the impact, and I will finish up with the conclusion and references. Healthcare leadership can be both dynamic and diverse, where it can be adaptive in certain circumstances. It can assess, maintain, and change the structure of the organization in order to meet the needs of the patients. Leadership can focus its energy on the organizational skills like the mission, vision, and other strategies of the organization. Here is an example of a leadership model. It includes structure, processes, and outcomes. Within that structure, processes, and outcomes, it includes system knowledge and thinking, environmental assessment, technology and informatics, evidence-based analysis and decision-making. It also has the outcomes of healthcare delivery systems, business operation, healthcare operations, finance, human resources, healthcare supply chains, insurance, risk and reimbursement, and project management. Communication and cultural competition, interpersonal relations ability, change in organizational culture competence, and team building is essential to this leadership. We also have to look at the cost, the quality, and the access of this model. A specific issue within Kaiser Permanente is staffing. During the pandemic, we've had issues with staffing as far as making sure that we have proper staffing while people are sick with COVID, and being able to fill the gaps in our schedules has been complicated. The volume of our patients have gone up, which means the delay of patient care has also increased. Without proper staffing, the quality of care will decline. Also, besides that, short staff can lead to on-the-job injuries and also cause employee burnout. The leadership model that I am going to present is comprehensive. It is a combination of dynamic culture model, the transformational model, the National Leadership Assessment and Evaluation Model, or NCHL, and the Tuckman stages of group development. There are several constructs within these models, as well as ways that it can be producing various projects within the organization. The dynamic leadership includes a relationship, respect, and results, all of which need to be a sense of commitment, trust, and engagement between the leadership and its team. Starting off with individual development, core competencies include individual emotional intelligence, self-management, social skills, and conflict management. Transformation leadership model also is part of the dynamic model. It includes individual and organizational characteristics, which has organizational culture, individual traits, individual experiences. Leadership behavior includes inspirational motivation, idealized attributes, idealized behavior, individualized consideration, and intellectual stimulation. Follower and group impacts includes increased leader identification, internal motivation increases with achievement and orientation and goal pursuit, and it increases group collaboration. The outcomes increases organizational commitment, increased commitment to the leader and the vision, and it increases the altruism within the model. Another part of the comprehensive model that I am introducing is the NHCL. There are 5 stages of group developments, which includes governance, strategy, leadership, competency, leadership development, and outcomes. The governments represent the executive team that thinks about the goals that involve the mission and visions of the organization. The strategy involves everyone within the organization. Leadership competency will be analyzed and then given to the team together to evaluate what skills are needed to create the strategy, and then the team will take the strategy and put it together to make it viable, or to make sure it's viable. And finally, the outcome will hopefully have successful results, or the team will continue to work on the strategy until it is. Along with my model, I also think that the Tuckman's stages of group development is part of it. With team development, the Tuckman model is used with business and healthcare operations, finances, human resources, healthcare supply chain, insurance risk, and reimbursement and project management when they are forming, storming, norming, and performing for the group development. While in the forming stage, they are asking questions, socializing, displaying eagerness, focusing on group identity and purpose, sticking to safe topics. The strategy is to take the lead, provide a clear expectation and consistent instructions, and have quick response times. In the storming, the characteristics are resistance, lack of participation, conflict, competition, high emotions, and starting to move towards group norms. The strategies are norming matters and encouraging leadership. Within norming, the characteristics are reconciliation, uh, relief, lowering anxiety, members are engaged and supportive, and developing cohesion in the group. The strategy is to recognize individual and group efforts, provide learning opportunities and feedback, and monitoring the energy of the group. Within performing, if they are able to get there, they demonstrate the interdependence, healthy system, ability to effectively produce as a team, balance of task and processes, and orientation. And the strategy is celebrating guide from the side, minimum intervention, encouraging group decision making and problem solving, and providing opportunities to share across the teams. Adjourning characteristics is a shift to process orientation, kind of a sadness because they're ending that process and recognizing that the team and individuals' efforts. The strategies is to recognize change, provide the opportunity for summation of the team's evaluation, and provide an opportunity for acknowledgments. So in the organizational development and assessment, after the team development, there is the organizational development and assessment will focus on the mission, vision, strategies, goals, or objectives. They go over the list of competencies that can be analyzed while putting the team together. As we go through governments, and then it goes through the strategies and leadership competencies, then it'll go through leadership development and outcomes. On the second diagram, there is boundary spanning, execution, relations, and transformation in the domain actions. And in the enabling actions, there's the value, the healthcare system awareness and business literacy, and the self-awareness and self-development. So when adopting this comprehensive model that I have made, it is to produce a desirable strategy by presenting an existing issue in the model. For instance, the staffing issue, we're able to find out and assess the effectiveness of the plan of the proposal, like getting more staff to help reduce the burnout and employee injuries, as well as improving on our patient workflow. This will go towards the stakeholders, who are the staff members that are affected by the individual development, the management who are more affected by the team development, the teams who are affected by its team development, the executives above the management who are affected by the organizational development, and the patients that are indirectly affected by the individual development. So when we're applying the applying the model to the issue that was presented. As a volume of patients go up, the delay of patient care will also increase. Without proper staffing, the quality of care will decline. Also, being short-staffed can lead to on-the-job injuries and can cause employee burnout. The strategy is to reduce the employee injuries that happen on the job, as well as the burnout from working overtime, and to start hiring new staff to help with the vacant positions. That will reduce the short staff and thus the overtime, and that is what creates the delay in patient care, burnout, and workplace injuries. We also would like to use the strategy to educate on ergonomics that will reduce the workplace injuries by having the proper staff. Patient flow will be more efficient. The staff will be rested and the injuries will be at a minimum. So in the evaluation plan, this is where we do the calculations of efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency is basically the output divided by the input. It is the productivity in which the output data is generated by the department, while the input represents benchmarks that are already set by the organization. The effectiveness is the ability to create acceptable outcomes that is presented to the stakeholders. It is the sum of the qualitative and quantitative factors interpreted by the stakeholders to measure the effectiveness of the strategy. I think that this comprehensive model will work with the combination of the dynamic and transformation models, as well as the NHCL and the Tuckman's stage of group development. By mastering the competencies, it will increase the staff to reduce employee burnout, injury, and overtime, while increasing the patient workflow efficiency. Motivation will be increased. Higher quality of care will be increased for the patient care. Higher performance would mean that there's more rested staff, and the budgets will be better managed, with the department being fully staffed and reducing overtime. So in conclusion, I have discussed leadership in management, as well as a specific issue within the healthcare organization of Kaiser Permanente. I also discussed the leadership model that I have produced and the strategy when adopting the model. I also discussed the evaluation of that model and how it impacted the circumstances of the issues that I brought up. Thank you for the time, and thank you for watching this video.